Good afternoon and welcome to the inimitable Industry Group Stadium in Gosford. We're on Guringai people's land of the Eora Nation for this huge Isuzu Ute A-League clash between the Central Coast Mariners, who currently sit fourth on the table, and a big win tonight would see them put real pressure on third place Western Sydney Wanderers. Well, let's have a look at how we line up this afternoon between these two sides. For Nick Montgomery, 4 changes for the Mariners side that went down 2-0 to Melbourne victory last time out, and having rewarded his young central defenders for their first outing 2 weeks ago, he's decided to reinstate the big guns. Triantis and Kaltak return in the middle at the back. Josh Nisbet makes his return in the middle of the park, as well as does Benny and Kololo, who was missing through suspension. While for Brisbane, Nick Green's side looking for back-to-back wins and just a third away win of the season. 3 changes for them. Jez Lofthouse is missing through illness. Kai Truan misses out for the first time this season as well. Scott Neville, Josh Brindle South and Carlo Armiento all coming in to the side. There are the subs bench, which include Jacob Farrell, back from his bout of glandular fever as well. Christian Theohorus is there. And it's the Central Coast Mariners in their picture-perfect Industry Group Stadium. The sun may not be shining today, but they'll certainly be hoping they can continue their rich form against Brisbane Roar. Traditionally, their bogey team in this competition. The man that knows all about that is sitting alongside me for this one, Daniel McBreen. Just 3 home wins in A-League history for the Mariners against Brisbane, but they have won the last 3 home and away. And most importantly, there's a little carrot dangling in front of them, which is a good win, and they could be sitting third in the table.
Yes, good afternoon, Robbie, and viewers out there. Yeah, it's a big, important match today. 300 for that man, Danny Vukovic. I'm still reeling from his haircut in that goal-scoring feat back in the days of Wellington, but a consummate professional, and they'll want to not only get a win for him on 300 appearances, but also to just put that little bit of space and almost cement their spot in the finals.
Oh, there's a bad foul by Triantis. Diving in, the referee wants to have a word. Carlo Armiento is not happy.
Oh, that's a yellow card. An early one for Triantis, so he'll have to be careful for the rest of the match. And just on that back line you were talking there of Brisbane Roar, Robbie, it hasn't really been the problem, has it, at the back? Second best defensive in the league, but going the other way has been a real problem. And Stefan Shepovic has had a couple of opportunities in the past few matches. He looks like he's been an astute signing, but just needs to find the radar. He gets himself in good positions. I think he looks like a player that in these kind of situations could cause some problems, and once maybe gets one and that confidence comes, he could go on a run.
The young Socceroo Triantis there being buffeted about by Brisbane skipper Tom Aldred. Now, knowing Carlo Armiento, he'll be looking to test Danny Vukovic here on match number 300. Jay O'Shea is also standing over it. Armiento has 3 goals. In it comes, and he does test Vukovic at the near post.
That's almost his go-to move, isn't it? From corners, wide free kicks, just to shoot and hope that someone runs across the line and either gets a touch or does enough to put the keeper off. On that occasion, Danny Vukovic is well aware.
Really one to try one from distance, even if it was on the left foot there. He's got a fantastic left foot on him. Nisbet. Silvera. Finding space. And Cummings. And now the follow-up. Tulio. The flag stays down. And the Mariners have the lead inside 15 minutes. And he may not have scored, but that Cummings left foot did most of the damage there. And Tulio, Johnny on the spot to fire home from close range.
Well, Nick Green won't be too happy here. The second most frugal defence in the league just gives Jason Cummings way too much space there. Harvey Norman replay shows he's able to take a touch on the edge of the box, look with his right foot, seizes it there. No, I'll come on my left. Nice strike away, and it's a good save from Jordan Holmes. But Marco Tulio is the first man to respond. And as the Brisbane Roar defence looks on stunned, he taps it away for a lead.
Sixth goal of the season for the Brazilian, his second in as many matches. As Nisbet pokes it through to Tulio and gets it straight back again. Look at the space in midfield here. Silvera peeling off to the right, overlapping run from Roux. Silvera looks inside, lovely little touch for Nisbet. Nisbet, he gets another chance, and Josh Nisbet has scored. And the Mariners really have something to celebrate there, because that is a rare occurrence. Just his second ever A-League goal. And little Josh Nisbet, with 2 goals in 4 minutes for the Mariners, and even Danny Vukovic has come to celebrate. The Mariners in the driving seat now.
Well, as Josh Nisbet picked up that ball and drove with it, I was thinking it's great to see him back in the team, because he's already planting himself in this game. And as the ball came back to him on the Harvey Norman replay, it just bobbled around and fell nicely. Here he is. This sets it up. He drives forward and plays the ball wide. But as that ball comes back, he drives into the box, looks for the rebound, and as it falls down, he gets a little bit fortuitous. But then he has the composure to tuck it away for a 2-0 lead, and you can see what it means to his teammates. Only his second goal. He does a lot of work for this team, and he's been one of their best players for mine this season. And he gets rewarded with a goal. And it's a fantastic start to this match for Nick Montgomery's men.
Now, Sydney in 6th place have just 2 more points than Newcastle. So Western United are a chance, Macarthur, Newcastle, all of them a chance to move into the 6 this weekend. Melbourne Victory, who have a game in hand and play Melbourne City on Wednesday night, are also a chance, and they're Brisbane very much in the contest in 12th place. But they have to be careful, because Tulio's cross and the run off the crossbar, off the back of the keeper, and it's Max Ballard who will claim it, but I'm not sure he'll get it. Well, it's his 50th appearance for the Mariners in all competitions, so we can be generous from our commentary position and say that Ballard on the half hour has made it 3-0, but it's more fantastic work in the penalty box.
The Harvey Norman replay shows, look at the gaping space in the middle there that he runs into. Tom Aldred, he turns around and he gives it to Ramak Akbari, saying, you've got to go with your runner. But there's so much space in between the players in that Brisbane Roar defence. Don't get me wrong, it's a wonderful ball from Marco Tulio, and a great run as well. Max Ballard, like you say, may not get the final goal credited to himself, but it was a great run, a good header.
In towards Ballard, who got back to his more usual job of making tackles in midfield. Here's Cummings on the left, looking to bend it. Started too far wide, was never coming back that far.
Well, he's disappointed in himself there. That's prime Jason Cummings territory, isn't it? Edge of the box, just to the right of the goal, on the left foot. As a defender, as a guide, and bend it around. And it was Tom Aldred putting the kind of pressure we're used to seeing from Brisbane Roar defenders on Cummings here, just maybe forcing him to take it a little quicker.
You have to get the ball in dangerous areas, even if it's only occasionally, to be able to make it count. Armiento's cross. Well, he was looking to bend it towards Szczepovic and O'Shea. It's just not happening. Expected goals, there you see it from that free kick. 0.06 for that one effort that was on target, against 1.4 for the Mariners, who have 3 goals to show for it. And if they'd negotiated a couple of other very promising situations a little bit better, they could even have had a 4th without pushing it too hard. Gamulka's header for Szczepovic. Brian Kaltak getting it clear. Kaltak, who has a feature on Keep Up as well at the moment, who showed the Vanuatu fans that travel and follow him. He really is a symbol for Vanuatu football, the only professional player in the national team. 29 caps and an absolute legend of the game. He spent much of his career in New Zealand, as well as at MPL level in Australia. And this, his first taste of fully professional football. Ryan Kaltak at 29 years of age. And his story, like so many wonderful stories in Australian football and football around the world, is one that deserves to be told. You may be 29 years of age and playing your first ever season of professional football, but he's an idol in his country. As the free kick goes the Mariners' way. Benny Gololo saying he was pushed again. Nisbet with the free kick taken quickly, but no time to make anything more of it. They won't be too disappointed, the Central Coast Mariners, because it was a fine half of football for them. Marco Tullio got the ball rolling in the 15th minute. Before that man, Josh Nisbet, added goal number 2, just the second of his career in the A-League and first of the season. 3 minutes later, 18 minutes in, and it was 2-0 before Max Ballard's header came off the crossbar and will probably eventually go down as an own goal against goalkeeper Jordan Holmes, but Ballard claiming it for the moment as the Mariners lead by 3-0 at half-time. His 10th of this season, and after a very brief delay for that referee's blood nose, we are ready to go. And it's Brisbane Roar trailing by 3-0. Is this their finals hopes going up in smoke? If they are to pull it back, it will be an incredible result, even if they could steal a point. After the first half, we witnessed Zach Bari knocking over Mariners like 10 pins in the middle of the park. Daniel McBreen, if Brisbane could do it, obviously it would put them on a fantastic roll, but this one so far has been all about the blue and yellow.
Yeah, well, it's been almost non-existent, this team in grey today, and I'm sure there was some stern words at half-time from Nick Green.
There's Cummings for McGarry. The cutback, he was looking for Cummings, it might yet fall. The ball bouncing around, appeals for a hand, and again a second time, and penalty. I think it's Courtney Perkins who was madly throwing himself in front of the ball, and it appears to have bounced off an arm, and he's going to get a yellow card for his troubles as well from referee Daniel Elder.
Sly rub of the head there to try and make the impression that it hit the head, maybe. Yellow card confirmed. As we see here, as it comes out first, it hits Akbari in the ribs, and as the strike comes back in from Ballard, well, I think it hits him. Does it hit him in the face? I think it's the arm, Robbie.
I think it's the left arm raised behind the body. Now, Jason Cummings, who has been excellent from the penalty spot so far this season, to step up for his 15th of the campaign and to put this one to bed well and truly for the Central Coast Mariners. And he does so, sending Jordan Holmes the wrong way. Cummings edges closer to that scoring record in a season of 17 goals held by Daniel McBreen here present. But Cummings, and scoring penalties is a very important job as well, particularly with finals coming. It doesn't matter how they go in, you've just got to get them in the back of the net.
Well, here's the Harvey Norman replay. Another look at the award of the penalty. It's a great strike. You see, yeah, the left arm up. Courtney Perkins. And then Jason Cummings, as he does so often from the penalty spot. It's his 5th now for the season. Makes it 4-0. It's celebration time, and See Jacob Farrell entering the field.
Poor for Trewin. Well, he didn't fancy the shot, but he has O'Shea near him. Back for Kai Trewin. Lays it off. The hit from Zabala. Now Gamulka. Brisbane provides something. For the moment, just the 2 efforts on target. A tame strike from Szczepovic in the second half after a very ambitious free kick from Carlo Armiento. O'Shea through the legs, and the effort at the near post to deny Louis Zabala her first ever A-League goal, and it's Vukovic with a strong left hand.
Well, it was good play from Brisbane this time, wasn't it? Good run. A nice strike on the turn, but Danny Vukovic stayed up strong. Good strong arm. Pads it away at that near post area. It's been one of a few forays into that area for Brisbane Roar.
Ball back post, the header from Neville. Now he's appealing for the handball. It's headed off for a corner for the time being.
Scott Neville, he's adamant it's handball, isn't he? He's asking for the VAR to have a look. Brian Caltech says, no, it's not. I'm just standing there, arms are down by my side.
Asks the question, unnatural position. It's been given the all clear. O'Shea. Back post again where Neville is. Again, he wins the header. Comes straight back off Triantis. Aldred looking over his shoulder saying, what am I going to do with this if I get there first? He did. And he couldn't do much with it. And now Silvera against Trewin. Zabala in the middle. Theoharis arriving. The cutback. It was headed towards Cummings, but Theoharis, if he'd poked a toe at it.
Well, it looked like he could have just stuck his foot out and guided it in, but maybe it was just a little too far away. Maybe our angles are deceiving us as we see some substitutions here for Brisbane Roar. Sammy Silvera with a great run on the outside, and he just seemed to be looking Theoharis, didn't he?
This isn't for me. Gennady with Trewin. O'Shea. Trewin again. The cross is a good one towards Mileusnic. Poor with Armiento again. The cross towards Mileusnic off the crossbar. And Danny Vukovic in match number 300. Invoking the footballing gods to help him hold that clean sheet. The deflected header from Mileusnic. Back off the crossbar. Zabala back with Holmes. Under pressure from Wenzel Halls. Now the referee has just called a halt to proceedings when it's back with the goalkeeper. And we're going to have a VAR check for a potential penalty. So this is that header.
A bit of handball there from Caltech, is it maybe? Yeah, it's away from the...
Looks like one. Mileusnic's header off the arm and up onto the crossbar. So it wasn't the footballing gods that sent it up onto the crossbar. Referee says penalty. Penalty for Brisbane Roar, so a little bit of drama for Danny Vukovic in match number 300 as well against Jay O'Shea. And a yellow card for Brian Caltech. It was the same at the other end.
I know, I didn't think the last one was a yellow card either, but you know, I think the penalty, isn't that enough?
It's not red, at least, for Brian Caltech, well, so he can breathe a little easier.
Well, Nigel Bogart will be sitting at home going, oh, someone could have caught me with 4 in a season.
Would it equal or beat the record?
I think Nigel Bogart got 4. Yeah.
Okay. I can always check that.
He had about 15 in his
He
career.
is the leader. He is the leader. Now, Danny Vukovic in match number 300 against the Irishman, Jay O'Shea, in A-League match number 100. For him, who's going to be smiling? It's O'Shea, and only just. In off the post, some would say a perfect penalty.
Well, yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. Makes you skip a beat with your heart, but here we look in the replay again. You can see the armies up and away on the Harvey Norman replay. Comes down off the crossbar, and Jay O'Shea has done so often this season with another penalty in off the post. And that's his 5th goal in 6 matches.
7th of the season. Here's Caltac. Nicely done with Jacob Farrell. Good switch of play. Bayliss. Look at Silvera immediately dropping back to the edge of the area. He shoots. And that's a good pair of hands from Jordan Holmes.
Well, it was a wonderful crossfield ball, wasn't it, from Jacob Farrell that opened up the play. As we roll into the last 30 seconds of the match, it's been a dominant performance from this Central Coast Mariners side. 3-0 up after 30 minutes. And really, as we said, should have had a number of more goals in this match.
But Brisbane, considering that the game was lost with an hour played at 4-0, they have shown some spirit and character to at least keep fighting to get themselves on the scoreboard. The substitutes, Mile Uznic, Chinadi Zabala trying to get involved. But as the final whistle goes, it's the Central Coast Mariners that are all smiles in Gosford tonight. A victory, a 4th in a row against Brisbane. That is a little club record of its own for the Mariners against their bogey team historically. Nick Montgomery, 4 wins out of 4 for him against Brisbane Roar. Still not entirely happy, Nick Montgomery, but that's a coach's job as well, isn't it? A dominant display from his side. Tulio, Nisbet and Ballard had them 3-0 up inside half an hour before Jason Cummings got his 15th of the season from the penalty spot after Jordan Courtney Perkins had handled in the box. That was in the 58th minute. And then as the changes were made, it was Jay O'Shea after a penalty against Caltac at the other end. Got Brisbane on the scoreboard for his 7th of the season and 4th in 4. It's all finished in Gosford. The 3rd place on the table, Central Coast Mariners 4. 12th place, but still not out of it, Brisbane Roar 1.